quick question. If you had to pick between the Sharingan, Byakugan, or the Jogan, what would you choose? I'm assuming most of you said the Sharingan because of all its exclusive abilities, but what if I threw another Dojutsu into the equation? One capable of stopping time itself, peering into the future, and letting you have entire do-overs. Would your answer change? I'll let you decide that for yourself, but regardless of that, today, myself and that one weeb took it upon ourselves to answer what would happen if we introduced a new Uzumaki Dojutsu into the mix. And safe to say, we think we made a pretty entertaining video out of it, so stick around to the end of the video to find out how this is going to change the Naruto timeline. But with that said, do all the usual YouTube stuff and enjoy.
When Naruto was a child, everyone avoided him, and he never understood why. This hatred that the village held for him, no, for the Nine Tails, he couldn't comprehend it. What had he done wrong? Why could he never make friends? Why did everyone abuse him? Why would the Hokage never tell him about his parents? All these questions, these desires, would erupt in Naruto one day. As the sun was setting and Shikamaru and Choji were leaving, Naruto would hold his hand out saying, "Wait, come back!" At that moment, as they're walking away, their footsteps, which had been so steady-paced before, would slow down. Naruto would watch as their figures would slow, now as time seemed to approach a standstill. Naruto's eyes would open, as they would glow with a golden light, with now hands of a clock appearing from his pupils. He had successfully awakened the Dojutsu, the chronogon, an ability that uses a high degree of chakra that allows the user to see several seconds into the future. With enhanced perception, Naruto with his ability is going to be growing into this story. What if Naruto had a time Dojutsu?
Bro, that was sick. That was sick. I like the way you started that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So as you guys can tell,
yeah.
I'm here joined with my boy Xehther. Thanks for coming. I've always appreciate you on the channel. You're just a great guy to talk with. You know the story, you know your stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, like you guys just heard, we're going to be making a video where Naruto has an insane time Dojutsu. This dude's abilities are going to range from like looking into the future, looking into the past a little bit, which like doesn't really matter if you can only look like 3 seconds into the past. I mean, I guess you could relive kissing a girl, you know, a couple of times. Not that I've ever
kissing Sasuke.
not that I've ever wanted to do that, but you know, all I'm saying is this dude's gonna have some busted abilities, and the things that we came up with for this video, y'all are not ready, bro. Y'all are not ready, bro. Explain how the Dojutsu works, bro. Come on now.
So, as I was talking about a little bit, he's going to have a Dojutsu that has dominion over time. So, how does this work? The first of his abilities, as I mentioned, is to see several seconds into the future, which is different from the Sharingans, which the Sharingan, for reference, perceives movement and bases that movement to predict the future. Naruto peers past that. He can see the actual timeline of what's going to occur, sort of like how observation hockey works in One Piece. He also will have enhanced perception, which kind of slows down how his reflexes work. If you ever have played like basketball or something and you're really in the flow state, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know what would be
a better example for that?
What?
Sir Night-Eye from My Hero Academia.
Night-Eye? Oh yeah, exactly.
Explain it like that. Exactly. That's kind of how his abilities are going to work. And also kind of like Hit, where he can like stop time and do stuff. Naruto is going to eventually have crazy abilities like that. Like me and him basically wrote little ideas on a piece of paper, threw them into a hat, and called it a day. Like, we decided to make the most busted Dojutsu ever, and we're gonna deliver. But he's gonna grow slowly. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a little bit of a story here.
Xehther, you want to talk about some of the other abilities? Speaking of growing, maybe.
Oh yeah. So like we said, he's gonna be able to look into the future a couple seconds. Pretty much observation hockey. Think Sir Night-Eye. He's gonna be growing in terms of how far he can see into the future and how far he can see into the past. Think of it like this. The Sharingan has 3 Tomoe depending on the stages that it's on, and just like that, this Dojutsu is going to be having 3 little hands. Think of it kind of like a grand clock. Little hand, second kind of big hand, I guess minutes, and then the other one is going to be hours. So Naruto's going to go from being able to look seconds to minutes to hours into the future. Obviously, if you're fighting and you're in a close combat situation and you can see 1 second into the future, your opponent throws a jab, you dodge it, you throw a little, you know, a little hook of your own. That's how unbelievably useful this ability is going to be. This dude is essentially going to have Ultra Instinct, if you really think about it.
I think we both know a little bit about Naruto with Ultra Instinct. But aside from that, like Xehther was talking about, it is going to be advantageous for a lot of uses. Time is just such a versatile ability, which is why we were so excited to talk about this. Some of the other abilities, just to hint a little bit, I don't want to reveal too much, but Naruto will be able to manipulate time within his body in multiple ways and outside of it. So we're going to get into this. What was that?
I said I forgot about the fact that we added that too.
Oh. Yeah, so we'll definitely be getting into that more. I don't want to reveal all of the secrets. Let's get started into the story. So after Naruto's awakened the chronogon, Naruto, like I was talking about earlier, is going to be confused about this power, wondering why everything's slowing down. He'd feel tired after this use, with his eyes now disconnecting from this dojutsu state, as Shikamaru and Choji would turn one more time waving. He'd look at his hands, wondering what that was all about, heading home. For the next couple years, I want to say now he's like 8 to 10 years old, he would notice changes. Xehther, you want to talk about like a situation of what type of changes I'm talking about?
Absolutely. Here's what we're thinking is going to happen in terms of his childhood. Obviously, Naruto in the original never awakens the Dojutsu, no new powers, but now Naruto's going to have to grapple with the fact that he has these things that are unique to him. This is going to change a lot of things for him, because even though before in the academy, he didn't have a one leg up on everybody else, Naruto literally was at the bottom of the pack. No chakra control, this dude had no mentors, but now this dude has literal time on his side. Simple events that in the original would have been extremely complicated for Naruto now are just easily simplified, because as time passes, Naruto's growing at just exponential rates. Let me just give you guys a small example. Say in the past that Naruto would have taken a physical test, something like throwing a shuriken or a kunai. Naruto would have normally missed the target and that would have been that. But now, because Naruto can peer seconds into the future, he can see how he failed, what he did wrong, and correct it. Naruto doesn't just see into the future, but he could change the future. And this would lead Naruto marks in the class to grow exponentially. Not really going to help him during his, written exams, but in terms of the things that matter, like on combat side of ninja, Naruto is going to be growing like crazy, and someone is going to be noticing that. Someone named Sasuke. What's going to happen with that, Weeb?
Exactly. So, we've been talking a lot about Naruto, but let's talk about the protagonist of this series, Sasuke Uchiha. So, like we talked about earlier, Naruto has a dojutsu, and it's awakened, and he's able to use it at will. These are all points that Sasuke feels an intense inferiority to, especially after the Uchiha clan massacre. This kid? He's able to use a dojutsu like the Sharingan? Sasuke would think constantly, with him wondering, how is that even possible when he can use it and I can't? He's not even a member of a powerful clan. Sasuke would feel now inferior growing towards Naruto. While he was still more skilled than Naruto, because of his natural talent and able to pick up and the people around supporting him, Naruto was no slouch. Like Xehther said, he's going to be growing from the bottom of the pack up towards the middle to upper echelon, with Sasuke noticing. So picture this. After, in the original Naruto, when Naruto had saved him in the Forest of Death, Sasuke really took notice of him. In this timeline, Sasuke has been watching Naruto since he had awakened this ability, with him jealous that he himself has not awakened this Sharingan-like ability. Naruto, though, would think that him and Sasuke are more similar than anything else, with the same type of concept of, he's just like me, for real, being Naruto's idea, right? But let's get into the exam, with graduation closely approaching and Naruto having to make a clone jutsu. What do we think his chakra control is going to look like now that he's had this dojutsu for almost 4 years and has been able to use it with his chakra even being manipulated by the Nine Tails?
You know what could be a really interesting plot point that we could add? In the original, Naruto and Hinata's relationship flourished in such a weird and awkward way, but because Naruto now has a dojutsu and he knows, hey, there's a girl in my class who also has eyes that she literally gets made fun of. In fact, the dude saved her for her eyes. I could see a world in which Naruto would actually ask Hinata if she can help him out in any way with this dojutsu when he would be a kid. Because think about it, how would Naruto even know that he has to channel chakra to his eyes without being told? I mean, obviously you could ask Iruka or Hiruzen or something like that, but I think that adding Hinata and like him going to her and asking her might be a cool plot point. Or do you want to go down the other path of he learns all by himself?
I kind of like that, actually. I haven't really done a lot with Hinata in a lot of stories before. Keep cooking. Let's see it. What are you thinking?
All right.
Give me the scene.
I'm thinking as a little kid, Naruto would like be in the class just thinking, he's like, what happened? What happened? And Hinata's always staring at him when they were kids. So Hinata would be looking at Naruto. Naruto notices her, and seeing her eyes, Naruto would think about that. He would go home, go to the mirror, and randomly, because he's thinking about time and all this stuff, and Naruto's just getting frustrated, I could see Naruto indirectly activating it and looking at his eyes, seeing that they've changed. They're different. I could see this leading Naruto to going to school, asking Hinata, like going over her being shy, being like, hey, you have something with your eyes too, right? And she'd be like, yes, Naruto. And then I could see like a scene in which, because Naruto's asking her, she'd be like, oh, Naruto-kun needs my help. So she would help him. I could see this leading her to like being like, well, the way that I activate mine is I have to channel chakra to my eyes.
I've got an
Naruto
idea.
starts realizing what?
So to kind of facilitate that scene, I think, as we know, like the event with him awakening it would happen many years after he had originally saved her from the like kids who were harassing her, the older kids, as we know from Naruto the Last. I think Hinata would want to like repay the favor to him. So I could see Naruto not showing up for class for like several days. And Iruka, being Iruka, is not going to take any notice of it, just saying, he's probably goofing off or pranking people. And maybe Hinata wants to go and check on him and could find him like sick and bedridden from like the overuse of this eye ability with him not knowing how to control it. And that's what facilitates her and Naruto getting closer. So kind of following that line of thought, maybe this is like Hinata, like you said, is like, I can be closer to Naruto. I get to learn.
You know what I think would be cooler? Naruto has so much chakra, I can't see him getting bedridden, but I can see him at training ground. Like he's trying to activate his eye, doing something, and eventually he manages to do it. This is still something he does like unwillingly. It's not something he can consciously do. And
At
Hinata,
this point, yeah.
she'd be like staring at him behind a tree. But because Naruto has this eye ability and he can peer into the past, even though he wouldn't notice her the first time, seeing her
She's always
from the
been
corner of his
watching me.
eye. No, he doesn't see it from the corner of his eye the first time, but because he has an instant replay, he pays attention. So he notices Hinata and he's like, hey, Hinata, what are you doing here? And then I could see Hinata like being like, oh, Naruto, she like maybe tries to run away, but Naruto like takes her hand. And then she's like, I could see your eyes. And this is where that little connection first starts, where she's like, are you trying to activate something? And then this is where she explains it. Do you think that this would be I feel like this would be a little bit more like cool for the story.
Okay. What age do you think like Hinata would be in Naruto? Like, is this after right after he just awakened it, or like a year?
This has to be right after, because if it's a year, he might have figured out a little bit more. So let's say it's like two to 3 weeks, give or take. And right after Hinata gives him, like, it's not going to be something where they become friends, but it's going to be something where she gives him an advice that helps him so much. This is like the thing that gets the wheels rolling. You know what I mean?
I like that. We're gonna go with that. Okay. So as Xehther was saying, we've got Hinata, who gave him some piece of advice on how to control chakra in his eyes, with her being guided by the Hyuga clan. This would help Naruto immensely. As I was asking earlier, I was asking Xehther, does he pass the exam? I think our answer is yes. So he does not learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He does not try and steal the Scroll of Sealing. And I don't think he'd even have the Sexy Jutsu. Maybe he does. Maybe he time stops to see the Jiggle Physics. Who knows, okay? But regardless...
That's crazy.
Regardless, okay? Naruto is going to have better chakra control, so I don't see him not being able to pass the exam by making a simple clone when he's been practicing with a dojutsu for all this time. So he would graduate the normal way. It would be a very uneventful episode, and he is not going to be having shadow clones. So, teams are getting assigned. Are we keeping Team 7? This is a big question.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we going to do? Add Hinata to the team? At that point, that's just a whole different dynamic. You know what I mean? Like, we have to start thinking about everything again. So, in terms of the story, at this point, Naruto's clearly gotten a lot stronger. I can see him being one of the top of the class, and not to mention, now Naruto has more popularity, and it's becoming increasingly obvious that he's one of the top heavy hitters in the class. This ultimately leads to the Team 7 being formed for the same reason. Sasuke because he's a new Uchiha, Naruto because he's the son of Minato, and Sakura for diversity, I guess. She's just that one character there.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
But with that being the case, the team still ends up meeting Kakashi. Naruto can't peer into the future much, but I could see a little scene happening where Naruto like kind of peers like 10 seconds to the future, hoping a sensei's finally getting there, and he like just never walks in the door. He just keeps seeing an empty hallway. Eventually though, Kakashi would end up arriving. We have the introductions. I can see Sasuke's and Sakura's being the same, but Naruto's might change. And the change might be something about his goals. Do you have any ideas for that? Because right now, I'm honestly kind of blanking.
Okay, so first off, I just want to inject a funny scene. I could see Naruto doing the constant look around. He's like, is he coming? Now! And he opens his eyes. Nothing. And then we see Kakashi entering with a handstand. What the heck? As Kakashi walks through the door normally, the eraser falls on him. I could see that.
He walks in doing a handstand?
No, like just in the hallway. So in the hallway where Naruto's peeking with his ability to check the future, he would keep seeing Kakashi, like he would see nothing, and then Kakashi just doing something goofy. But anyway.
Okay, I get it. And he's like, this guy was doing a handstand for what?
Why?
Okay, I get it. Some comedy thrown
anyway,
in there. Fair enough.
To the goals, okay? Sasuke would be the edgelord himself as normal. He'd be like, I must get stronger to kill a certain person. A certain someone. I'm an Avenger. Sakura would be gooning, as she does. And then there's Naruto. So I think Naruto's goal would be a little different. I think he would have realized by now, that what he really values might not necessarily be being the Hokage. Instead, he wants to be respected and have, strong bonds and friendships. So I could see him saying...
The thing with that is he's started to gain the respect of others already because of his rise in popularity and strength. So that completely alters it.
I think maybe he'd look up at Kakashi and he'd just say, I want happiness. I just want to be happy. And in order to have that, I have to be strong. I've seen people who don't have power and what it's taken away from them. And he just looks over at Sasuke.
Dude, this guy wants strength. He wants strength because he's understood that strength directly correlates to how people treat him. So Naruto just wants to get stronger.
Because at that point, he's seen, before he had this ability, he was treated like garbage. He couldn't do anything. And his rank within the academy, how the other students treat him, everything went up after he started trying to become powerful. So I could see him kind of resonating with Sasuke. I don't think he'd recognize Sasuke as much as a rival. I think he'd really try and think him and Sasuke, this guy, he gets me. And Sasuke's like, I hate you.
Unspoken hate.
Yeah.
Okay. The bell test. How does the bell test go down? Because I don't see Naruto being in a position where we can cover some arc where he just instantly takes the bells, because that's just not who Naruto is.
No,
yet.
He's not necessarily stronger or faster as much as he is. He has insight. So when Kakashi, I think Naruto would try running at Kakashi, and he'd look into the future and see him getting 1,000 year of death, and he'd just slide to a stop, a look of horror spreading on his face as he just turns and runs off into the forest saying, hell no!
Bro, that'd be insane. Imagine Naruto's fighting Kakashi, he sees that, he's just like, what? The dude dodges, Kakashi's like, how did he
know?
That'd be freaking funny. Yeah. Fair enough. Naruto's not getting captured then, because of the fact that he has insight. He can see into the future and see his demise, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, demise of his anal.
Naruto's.
Keep going.
Sakura, would Sakura get captured? Because in the original, she got Sasuke got sucked into the ground by the headhunter jutsu. Yep. Sakura got knocked unconscious, and Naruto got tangled up by his leg.
Yeah.
So in this version of events, they're not getting the bells. Naruto's not strong enough yet or fast enough to beat Kakashi.
No, but I could see
I think Team 7 still passes.
They will pass, but I think Some more interesting scenes like we talked about is with when Kakashi leaves the bell on the ground, Naruto could check himself. Like he'll like, is this real? And he'd lean down to grab it, and then he could see him flying up into the air, and he'd be like, okay. So I could see him getting the bell and then being caught in another trap or something. Like he picks it up without getting his foot caught, and then Kakashi shows up and just takes it back. So something to humble him and for them all to be defeated, I agree, is necessary. But they would all pass, especially with Sakura probably not hating Naruto as much. I mean, she'd still be annoying, but if he's really like a decent student and he's kind of good and she can't bully him because, you know, social society, I could see her being like, well, I guess since Sasuke considers him a strong like rival, I guess I can feed him. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think, at the end of the day, they passed the bell test, so that doesn't really matter. And now we just get into like that whole 2-week section of D rank missions.
Bro, Naruto would be a goat at
time,
catching cats. Oh my gosh.
This man would know exactly where they are.
He could see where they're going. He can check the pass as they're walking. He is the goat of E rank missions, my guy. Like,
this man would make bank off of catching old ladies' cats. And like, if that's all he could do, he'd literally be set for life.
it's kind of like that scene in Solo Leveling where you have Jinnu as a miner. Like, we have the Hokage's office, like, this boy, he has a gift. He's a cat hunter. We just see, like...
Nah, cat hunter is wild, but
yeah.
I could see something like that happening. Anyways, now we get to the actual first, like fight that Naruto's gonna get into, which is the Land of the Waves, specifically the Demon Brother encounter. What's gonna happen there?
So, as Xehther talked about, we're in the Land of Waves now. The Demon Brothers would be after Tazuna, and it's up to Team 7 and Kakashi to stop them and make sure that the bridge is built. With Naruto watching everything, he'd be playing the role of a sensory type ninja. While Kakashi's taking the front as the vanguard, Naruto would take the back, with him peering every few seconds into the future, where his chakra is essentially enough to continuously do this. Naruto would eventually see the after images of these ninja appearing and attacking them when he just says out loud, "Everybody get ready." Kakashi wouldn't doubt this. Sasuke would turn saying, "Huh?" And at that moment, the two would strike, with one of them turning as they cut Sasuke's hand. He'd leap back, grabbing his hand, as Naruto would move forward, with him easily dodging the strikes of the knives that the two ninjas were throwing at him. He'd be seeing it like as if though their moves were clearly written out on a page. Naruto would move in, pulling his fist up as he uppercuts the left brother, now sending him flying into a bush. Kakashi would take out the other one, with Sasuke now being the, well, damsel in distress, I could say. I could see Sakura going over me like, "Oh, Sasuke, you cut your hand." And Sasuke would be like, "Don't touch me. Like, I do not consent. I'm a minor. I'm a minor." What do you think?
Dude, Sasuke seeing that would be like, "How the heck did you see them coming, Naruto? I couldn't even sense them." And then Naruto, like, he tries to get out of the conversation, like he weasels his way out of it, and Sasuke's just thinking like, how does he always know?
Yeah.
And it'd be at this point that the dots would start connecting. He's like, it has to do with his Dojutsu. Dude, that would be such a sick scene if this was animated.
Yep.
Naruto could literally see the Demon Brothers' attacks, anticipate perfectly, and just destroy them.
That's how busted it is.
It would be awesome.
I agree.
Yeah, literally. Anyways,
let's move on.
Now we're gonna get into, dude, the Land of the Waves battle between Kakashi and Zabuza would be insane. Because don't you remember what we had talked about previously?
Yeah.
When Kakashi and Zabuza are fighting, and Zabuza ends up trapping Kakashi in the water prison, I could see it playing out like this. Naruto's in his head just thinking, wow, Kakashi's impressive. And as they're fighting, Naruto gets like he's watching with his Dojutsu because he wants to keep up with the battle, obviously.
Got the chronogon on.
And in the midst of that, he sees Zabuza trap Kakashi, to which he yells, "Kakashi, watch out! He's gonna use the water prison jutsu." Zabuza's eyes would just go wide, and he's like, how the heck did he? Kakashi counters and punches Zabuza, and then, you know, Kakashi, understanding that he would have lost right there, would get serious, defeating
pulling up the
Zabuza,
Sharingan,
which means
making Kakashi and Sasuke have more tension.
Dude, like, as this is all happening, Sasuke's literally looking at Naruto, seeing his eyes, and he's like, I knew it. His pupils, it's like a clock. And then he sees Kakashi's freaking Sharingan activate out of nowhere, and he's like, he has a Sharingan? Does just everybody have a Dojutsu but
It's
me?
a Dojutsu bargain sale.
Kind of like Vegeta. He was like, it's a Super Saiyan bargain sale. Yeah, it'd be literally just like that. After this happens, and they go to Tazuna's house, what happens there? Does like, cause in my head, I don't think Naruto would retaliate to Inari, being like, oh, we're gonna win, yada yada. Like, I just don't see that happening.
So I could see like Inari is kind of still like this brat, right? But Naruto really wouldn't care. He can part of having this ability too is I think Naruto is more like aloof as a character. Like aside from his goal of him just becoming a more powerful person to maintain his happiness, like he's a chill guy. Like he's not going to mind like this kid. He's gonna get annoyed and say, hey, if you want us to save your town, you better shut it. Like, and then I could see him going outside and saying, I'm off to train. So maybe with Kakashi down for the count, we have like this spat between Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto. I could see Sasuke wanting to go after that masked guy who saved that one shinobi with the sword. And Naruto would tell him, no, it's not worth it. Like, if we go after them, we will die. Like, he could tell Sasuke, like, I saw it. They were both holding back. If Kakashi wasn't with us, they would have taken all of us out in a moment. Like, I could see him basically kind of taking the role of team leader while Kakashi's down, and Sasuke, like, resisting it. When Kakashi wakes up, he'd have noticed, like, Sasuke and Naruto were in an argument, with Naruto still training out in the woods. He'd send Sakura to go find him, where he'd begin to instruct them on the tree training exercise. And again, this time, I think Naruto might have the best chakra control. He might be the fastest at picking this up. What do you think?
I think even yeah, low key, because he has enough chakra control to now controls Dojutsu. Naruto's chakra control is easily on Sakura's level. I think if anything, they master it at the same time.
Yeah,
like it'd be like Naruto and Sakura.
Oh, so Sasuke thinks he's like incapable.
He's the weakest.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Okay.
Bro, this man Sasuke single-handedly watches everything go from Sasuke's the best, he's the top of the class, and he just watched Naruto slow, like like I was gonna say descent, but no, the opposite.
Ascent.
Of that. Like rise to power.
Arise.
Yeah, ascent.
Arise.
Erect. Erect.
Sorry,
If you guys want to see me and Weeb troll about solo leveling, just know we're dropping another collab video called "What If Deku Had Solo Level."
It is so good. It is so.
It's so funny.
What if Deku had soul leveling? It's gonna be good. But anyway, back to topic. Back to square beans. I don't know why I just said. Anyway, tree testing. The tree training is over. We get Naruto not having practiced as much, so Haku and him are not going to be meeting in the woods, which means
Sasuke and
Haku might. So I could see we get that little scene. Do you want to talk about it or should I?
Bro, go for it.
So Sasuke would be out training late at night, with Sakura, Naruto, and Kakashi having headed to bed, with Sasuke feeling this burning rage. Like, why is he always better than me? I don't understand. He was the weakest. And he would remember like their childhood, and Sakura is even better than him. He'd be listening to My Chemical Romance type of hatred, okay? At that time, as he's like falls down after climbing to the top of the tree, Sasuke would be gasping for air, looking up into the night sky. His breath would be frosty and it's getting colder. We'd see as Haku, this beautiful black-haired girl, would appear. Sasuke would look up, wondering who this lady is. When Haku asks what a boy like himself is doing out here so late at night, Sasuke would now be...
Wasn't there meeting in the morning?
Nah, it's at night this time.
Are you... Okay.
Because it's Sasuke and he's edgy and he lives out in the moonlight. All right.
Okay, fair enough. Edgy. Yeah. That
I could see like Sasuke talking to Haku and being like, "It's none of your business. Leave me the hell alone." And then Haku would be like, I was like that once. I was full of hatred before he found me." Huh? Sasuke would be like, "Didn't I tell you to leave me alone?" At that point, we could have Haku kind of saying like, "What is really important to you? Like, why are you doing this? What is your purpose?" And we could see Sasuke thinking about like Itachi. Like he's thinking about Itachi being an Avenger. Does his hatred with Naruto really matter? He couldn't think of it. And unlike Naruto, he wouldn't gain anything from this. Instead, it would only aggravate him further as he turns yelling at her saying, "Get out of here!" And at that moment she'd say, "By the way, I'm a man." Just vanishing off into the forest.
What? I don't think Haku would even say that, but yeah, let's just keep it there. I could
I like
easily see Sasuke like kind of realizing
That's
like,
a man.
like, dude, what the heck?
I'm trolling so hard.
I'm
trolling so hard. It's my video.
That's a man.
I'm just kidding. You keep
Right, dude, you're trolling your own. Like what?
It's
okay.
good, it's
anyways, Sasuke would easily go on to like be like, okay, like he kind of have like a realization of like, all right, I need to chill out. Like my whole goal is like kill Itachi, and right now I'm over here focusing on this kid for no reason.
Yeah.
Does Sasuke go back to the... He obviously goes back to the shack now, so then all of them end up making their way to the bridge. The only problem with this is that Inari and like his daughter, bro, like they're kind of dead, or at least they get kidnapped.
They're
They get captured.
definitely kidnapped. Yeah, they might be dead.
Yeah,
it's okay. You know.
No, hear me out. Gato would probably use them as leverage. So once we get to the
Use them as
section
bait.
where Gato gets killed originally, he might survive due to having both of them.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
I think something like that. I don't know.
Mafia
They might die. Who cares?
We never see them again.
What happens on the bridge?
So
What happens on the bridge? Now that we've established Sasuke and Naruto, how does this fight go down?
All right, so let's get into it. Everyone's there, right? There's no one sleeping in. He's not like a goofball. He's not going to be staying out in the middle of the woods to take a nap. He's going to head back and be there in the morning when everyone leaves to go and defend Tazuna and go to the bridge site. At this point, it'd be a very misty and foggy morning. With everyone arriving, Naruto and Kakashi would be the first to notice, with Naruto saying, "Kakashi-sensei, do you notice that?" As the fog around them would be filled with chakra. This was not natural. Kakashi would nod, saying this is clearly generated from some sort of jutsu, telling everyone to be clear and on their guard. At that time, Tazuna would be protected by Sasuke instead of Sakura, with Kakashi saying, "Sasuke, guard Tazuna."
Dude, I just thought of something. Hear me out. Let me cook for a second. The battle would begin. Zabuza and Haku would both appear in front of Kakashi as he would say, "Naruto, Sasuke, protect the bridge builder. I'll take down Zabuza."
Yeah.
And from here, you could pretty much just see Naruto and Sasuke turning towards the direction of Zabuza, both giving him death stares, and then turning towards Haku, who Haku, he knows his job. This would lead Haku to trying to like take out Tazuna quickly, and I can easily see Naruto predicting this because of his Dojutsu and blocking the attack. In this moment, Sasuke, feeling inferior to Naruto, would say, "I'm not gonna let you one-up me this time." So he starts getting into a 1v1 fight against Haku, and as they're fighting, Naruto would literally be saying, "Watch your left, he's gonna throw a kick. All right, watch out." Naruto would be like pretty much coaching him up, and Sasuke is like, freaking Naruto, how the heck does he know this? You know what I mean?
Until
he pretty much can't dodge, because Haku would start to actually take it seriously, be like, okay, this kid clearly can predict me. So it'd be at this point that Naruto would run in and say, "Sasuke, just let me handle this." And this would piss Sasuke off. He's like, "What the heck do you mean handle this?" They would bicker, and this leaves a perfect opening for Haku to be like, "Demon Ice Mirror Jutsu."
Yeah.
Once this happens, Haku starts zipping around and throwing Senbon. Naruto can dodge, but Sasuke, this man is having a hard time, and as his anger and hatred is boiling and his desire to dodge these Senbons coming in, this dude would awaken the Sharingan out of pure hatred for straight up Naruto. As this is happening, he would start dodging out of the way, but even still, he's realizing that Naruto can dodge better than him. But Naruto would realize, now that I have my Sharingan, I should be able to keep up. So both of them start dodging, but this ultimately leads to a horrible situation.
They bump into each other, and they both get stabbed.
They get porcupine. No, I could see this happening, and you let me know what you think. As all of the needles are flying and they're dodging, Haku's like, all right, it's time to get serious. He doesn't have the connection to Naruto. He doesn't feel bad about killing them. Sasuke just blew him off and disrespected him. So Haku now starts zipping around on some crazy aura farming moment, going from mirror to mirror. The Senbons start flying, and Naruto, like, bro, he can see into the future, but if you can't do anything about it, you just can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
Naruto would start getting hit by Senbon after Senbon, and Haku focusing on him because of his abilities would cause Naruto to fall to the ground, and it looks like he's dead. Haku at this moment stops in one of the mirrors and says, "Looks like your little friend is dead.
Pause.
Now it's your turn."
At this time, this is when we see something happen within Naruto. Naruto would open his eyes.
I was gonna say that. I was preparing that. I was prepared. All right, just go. Just take everything from me. All right, bro. Good job. Okay. I trust you're gonna execute.
Xehther and I think we might be on the same page here. So, your little friend is dead. Sasuke would look at Haku, his eyes filled with rage and a little bit of now justification, thinking,
"Nah, bro, pour more emotion.
I'm standing
into it.
longer.
Pour more emotion. I'm gonna take it from you."
At this time, Naruto's eyes would open, the golden light causing the flickering hands of his pupils to dilate as they turned backwards. Naruto would have activated save point. You want to get into it?
Dog, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, you should cook instead.
At that time, as Naruto's heart was on the brink of stopping, Sasuke was trying his best to defeat Haku, but it was too late. Naruto could feel his life slipping. At that time, his eyes would pour with chakra as they turned from their light blue into a golden sheen. Naruto would look as things would begin
would the power of the Nine Tails also go through him in the sense that the eye color changes from yellow to like orange?
At that time, like the Nine Tails power would power him up, giving him enough ability to access the second hand. With the minute hand activated, Naruto was capable of reversing time to his last save point. With Naruto on the brink of death, he would reverse back 3 minutes, giving him 3 minutes of time as he looks around, Sasuke still not having awakened his Sharingan in this version, and Haku not having trapped him in the demon ice mirrors. Naruto would turn looking...
Wait, I thought that the ability reversed his time, as in his body's time flow. Does it reverse time itself?
It reverses him to a earlier stage where his body was safe. So the entire timeline has reversed backwards. Sort of like Return by Death with Subaru in ReZero.
Bro, that's busted. That's literally that's that one Rick and Morty episode. I thought we were gonna do like his body goes
that's just
back
a regeneration ability at that point.
Yeah, but it is time because time like goes back on his body. But fair enough.
So at this point he can only do 3 minutes of restoration, which with him pulling the timeline back 3 minutes. This time Naruto knows what's coming, with him looking down, wondering how that happened, wondering if he had just peered minutes into the future. Honestly, he has no idea. Did I look into the future, or did I return to the past? No clue. At that time, Sasuke would say, "I'll handle this," but before Sasuke can get in on it, Naruto would allow him, saying, "Sasuke, you go ahead, I'll protect the bridge builder," as he decides to let Sasuke fight Haku, giving him a chance to watch this man's attacks and see how strong Haku is, with him deciding he'll intervene as Sasuke is getting closer. Basically choosing to sit back and watch. You want to take it from here? Or
keep going? Nah, I like where you're going.
Sasuke would begin fighting with Haku, with Naruto saying, "He's all yours." This actually would irritate Sasuke more, with him saying, "What, he's not good enough for you? Huh? He's small fry or something?" As Sasuke would get more pissed off, with him slowly also feeling the awakening of the Sharingan. Of course, this time, Sasuke would be put into a corner. Without Naruto there helping with coaching him and blocking, Naruto would wait for the time to activate, as Haku would be slowly getting more irritated with the bickering between them. Haku would say you should focus on the fight, as he'd activate the Demon Ice Mirror Jutsu. At this exact moment, Naruto would turn to Sakura saying, "It's time, I gotta head in there. You protect Tazuna, okay?" At that moment, Sakura would be confused, saying, huh? With her being Sakura. Naruto would turn, running into the Demon Ice Mirror Jutsu, as he then crashes into the mirror. As it's being formed, the mirror would shatter, with him telling Sasuke, "Let's take this guy on together." Sasuke would say, "What? You said I could have him. Why are you changing your tone now?" Naruto would smirk, saying, "I've seen this jutsu before. If we work together, we can take him out easily." He instructs Sasuke on the plan, telling Sasuke in a hushed tone, saying, "When I give the signal, use your fireball jutsu. Trust me." He tells Sasuke to prime it with him making the hand seals. As Naruto would stand in front of one of the mirrors, Sema would come flying at him as Haku would be using the alternate mirrors. Naruto would laugh as he pulls out a kunai, throwing kunai in front of the other mirrors. At that exact moment, he tells Sasuke now. With Naruto having paused time, using his ability to see into the future, he could predict which mirrors Haku was going to enter, giving him the exact location where Sasuke was supposed to direct the fireball jutsu. Using it as Haku was about to descend, even at the speed of light, he would have been predicted by Naruto's ability. Sasuke would be shocked seeing as Naruto had actually predicted the future. With Haku getting blasted out of the jutsu, he'd go flying off into a ball of smoke. Sasuke would turn to Naruto saying, "How did you know he was going to use this jutsu or go into that mirror?" Naruto would turn saying, "Just a gut feeling." He gives Sasuke a pat on the back as he runs after Haku saying, "Let's take this guy out." Sasuke would grit his teeth as he'd close his eyes, opening them, his eyes flickering red. Fine. The two would then now basically double team on Haku. Picture the Nanami Itadori versus Mahito fight. We see him getting just butchered at this point. It's over. He's been caught in a fight in a ball of flame. He's getting bullied by two awakened users of Dojutsu, and Zabuza is watching this. He's like, "You can't jump my mans like that. Leave Haku alone," right? So at this point, I think is when Gato would arrive. So before Haku dies, I think we have the kidnapping incident. With Inari and his mom having been kidnapped by Gato, we could have Gato coming up on the bridge saying, "All right, that's enough, boys," as he tell the Team 7 to leave his shinobi alone, saying, "I don't want my tools damaged." At this time...
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. Okay.
Naruto would be surprised by this. With Gato not having arrived at that time in the future, or at least the present he had seen, he'd be wondering what had changed. With Naruto having apparently realized that maybe them overwhelming Haku with teamwork was making Gato feel a chance of them losing, and that's why he pulled out all these forces. At that time, we would see as Haku would watch as Zabuza is about to get shivved by a Chidori. Haku would run in front saying, "No, don't do it!" But at that time, Sasuke would run forward as well, telling Haku, saying, "You're not getting away from me that easily." With him now pouncing on top of Haku and beating him in his face, his mask shattering as Zabuza would die. Tears would rain down Haku's cheeks as Sasuke would then feel a sense of horror, his Sharingan awakening as he realizes that this is the boy, the man he talked to yesterday, the one who had asked him about his goals, why, and the person most important to him. Sasuke had been the direct reason that he had lost the person most important in his life. At that moment, he'd flinch as Haku would push Sasuke off, running towards a falling Zabuza. So, what happens from here?
Bro, obviously Haku's like crying over Zabuza, and Gato like he just looks at them. He's like smiling, bro. Keep going.
So we got Gato, we have a dead Zabuza, we have Haku still alive, and we have Sasuke with the Sharingan awakened. Naruto would sigh seeing Sasuke's hesitation as he walks forward saying, "I'll take care of it," with him now once again walking past Sasuke. Sasuke would consider the words Haku had said, wondering if he was any different from his brother. Meanwhile, Kakashi would be concerned about what Naruto was doing. "Naruto, what are you doing?" At that time, Naruto would simply walk towards Gato, saying, "Go ahead, do it." As Gato was holding a blade against the two's their throats, Naruto would peer into the future, watching, waiting for the split second, seeing if they were going to, as he kept getting closer and closer, testing how close he could get before they would actually hurt the hostages. At that exact moment, he'd throw kunai. As the man's hand was about to move, two kunai would gouge into his palms. With both of them now being able to be escaped and freed, Sakura would come in, with her landing a punch saying, "Hiya!" on Gato. Naruto would be surprised, Sasuke shocked, and Kakashi his eyes are just like, huh? With Sakura grabbing Inari and saying, "I'm useful too!" as she runs off in the other direction, having forgot his mother. Naruto would facepalm saying, "What the heck?" as Tazuna was left defenseless. Gato would tell his men to attack him, with Naruto now getting in the way, saying, "Kakashi, I need a bit of a hand here." With one of their teammates having run off, Sasuke being incapacitated, it was up to Naruto and Kakashi to finish off the Mafia, with Tazuna wondering if his grandson has just been kidnapped.
Point being, what ends up happening after the Land of the Waves mission is that Naruto now has a new understanding on his Dojutsu. Naruto still doesn't know whether he fully traveled back in time or whether he just saw that much further into the future. But regardless, Naruto is so unbelievably grateful of how everything went down.
And speaking of how things went down, if you guys want to see the rest of this incredible story where Naruto has the power of a time dojutsu, head on over to my channel, That One Weeb, where you can go and watch the entire story all the way up to the end of Shippuden. Thanks again, Xehther, for having me on, and I'll see you guys over on my side. Ciao.
Looks like you made it to the end of the video. Leave a like, comment, share the video with a friend, and subscribe, or die by my blade.